Welcome to another episode of Crazy Canuck Trucking. Thank you for listening, sharing, and rating. I appreciate all of you who take your time and listen. Last week it was fun chatting with Nicole and listening to her story. What strikes me is that she sees all the help available to her, including people and situations that she's in, and looks at everything in such a positive light. It's easy in this business to let negativity weigh you down. That brings me to my opening topic for this week. Burnout. Tired. Tired of everything in life. Trouble everywhere. I'm concerned. I see many who are having a hard time right now. It is so easy to get into a downward spiral. You can check out many videos on TikTok, other platforms, and you'll see a lot of this negativity. I have been there. I have to be on guard for this constantly. That was part of the reason I took a little break from the podcast this winter. I needed to focus on filling my tank back up. There are strategies, as you know, all things that you know about. We just need to do them. We need to eat what works best for our bodies, exercise, get proper rest, and have downtime. A listener and a contact I have, Gene, sent me a message with something that has helped him over the years, and he has met this person in real life a few times, and it is a quote by Martin Root. Quote, "You have to do it by yourself, and you can't do it alone." So I'll say that again. You have to do it by yourself, and you can't do it alone. So that's how it is. That's so true. We have to do it by ourselves, but we need the support. If you see someone struggling, reach out. Sometimes that is a very important part of our own survival, reaching out to someone else. Take the focus off your own trouble and try to help others. We are all hurting and need to support each other. Each person we meet is integral to our life. It changes our outlook when we use every opportunity to learn. Take chances. Our guest today was offered a change in her life, and she took it. Let's jump right into our interview. Stay tuned. She is one of the tire technicians at Cal Tire in Steinbach, Manitoba. So a little different to see a smiling face there all the time, which is really nice. I love going there. So welcome to our program, Jodi. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. And yourself?
No complaints. No complaints. A little cool out this morning, wasn't it?
Oh, it's chilly.
By the time I was starting today when we record this at 5 in the morning, or get outside at 5 in the morning. It was 25 below.
Oh, burr.
Yeah, it's a little cold.
A
It's
little bit.
hopefully we start seeing some warm weather and things warm up. So
Yeah.
um, let's just start off with the easy things. So you're Jodi Krebs. You're from the Steinbach area. You work at Cal Tire. Is this where you grew up?
No, I actually grew up in Alberta.
Grew up in Alberta.
Yep.
How long have you been in Manitoba then?
About 6 years or so.
6 years. So why did you leave Alberta and come here? You know, a lot of people like going to Alberta and staying there.
Yeah. The economy was starting to crash. Like tire shop that I was working at was slowing down quite a bit, and my wife grew up here and lives here, so figured I should make the
Just come
move.
on down. Yeah. Did you grow up in the country, or were you in a small town, city?
I grew up on the country, but went to school in a small town.
Okay. So what was life like for young Jodi running around in
There
the
was a
country?
lot of 4-H going on, horse 4-H. So there's a lot of riding and helping my family out with the chores and just typical farm kid things.
Yeah, is your family still farming in
No, not as
Alberta?
much as they used to.
Yeah. You miss it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a mountain girl all the way.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't have come to a flatter place.
Oh, I know.
So you one extreme to the other, right?
Yep, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So I've met you through Cal Tire because you're changing tires, and I drive a semi, so I stop in there, and you tell me what I did wrong, which is good. I need that, and so it's unusual, at least around here, to have women working at a tire shop. Like, I don't know if I've seen any other women at that particular place. What got you into this in the first place?
The tire shop that I worked at, also known as the tire shop in Olds, gonna throw that out there for travelers that need some tires done.
There you go. Stop by the tire shop in Olds.
Exactly. He was itching for some new during seasonal swap. So he offered me a job, and that was 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Yep.
How have you liked it so far? I mean, you've been doing
I
it 10 years. I guess it's all
yeah
right.
yeah I honestly can't see myself really doing much of a change. It's a constant learning curve with various tires that come in and whatever else. So it's always learning and always having fun and meet new people and
Yeah.
harass our regulars.
Yeah. And if you see me too regular, I probably deserve some harassing.
Yeah, maybe a
You
little
know.
bit.
We problem is, I don't know how other truckers are, but well, I know how some of them are, but I don't like stopping.
Nope.
So, and that's a problem. If there's a
Yep.
tire going low, you got to take care of it.
Yep.
So, and that usually seems to happen when it's really busy, of course. But
Yep. Why
don't know
not?
why that is, but yeah. And you're actually one of the on-call people as well. Like, you're not just some grunt working somewhere.
No,
You know, you're
no, I do road assists and that kind of thing too.
yeah. That I don't imagine they give that to all the junior people, do they?
No, you got to get some experience under your belt with a lot of stuff and have some speed, obviously, because guys got to go.
Yeah.
So
What is the biggest challenge with that for people that don't know what it's like doing road service? Why does it require somebody that's better?
a lot of it is just keeping your eye on traffic and still being able to do your job, for lack of better terms, having balls to play in traffic. Um, but there too, you need to have some speed because these guys got to go. You got pigs to feed for
Yeah.
your line of work and road calls. These guys are on a timeline. They've got their log books or e-logs that they've got to keep an eye on too. So they've got to get to the nearest truck stop or pull over so they can do their thing. So a lot of it's just experience.
And I've seen some different things. I've had some flat tires in some crazy places. So you have to think on your feet too, you can't just it's not like when you're working at your shop under your cover, under the canopy there. You have nice concrete floor, you have
Yep.
all the tools.
Yep.
If one tool isn't working, you just go grab another one. You probably don't have those same options when you're out literally in the field.
No, not really. Sometimes you need more blocks or you got to get more jacks or your jacks don't work because it's cold, especially this time of year. And you got to make something work to get these guys going.
You really got to think on your feet.
Yep.
Yeah, I years ago, probably before you were born, I had a tire go flat on a floater in a field,
Oh no.
and I had most of my load still on the floater, and I got as close to the edge of the field as I could, but that was a hard job for that tire tech
Oh,
to
I
try
believe
and get
it.
that floater up far
Yep.
enough, and those tires, I mean, they're what, 4 feet wide, something like that, the big floater tires,
Yeah.
and 5 feet tall or something. It's a lot
Yep.
of rubber to try and manhandle.
Especially when you're alone.
Yep. Yeah. What's the craziest? situation you've run across doing a service call?
Um, I'd have to say I went out with one of our more experienced guys from the shop, Jared. We went and did a farm call for a manure spreader company, and the driver of this tractor walked his outside dual off the rim completely. That was a 50 yards from the tractor. And then the inside tire was twisted in such a way that we had to get it mounted back on and dismount it properly so we could get a tube in so then they could finish doing their job in ankle deep mud.
Fragrant mud.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
very much so.
yeah. The kind that gets in and your wife is like, what, where were you? What,
Yep,
why didn't you clean up first?
yep, pretty much. Your boots have to stay outside. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep, that's for sure. That's two tires on the same axle.
Yep.
So he had one going down and he didn't stop,
Nope.
probably.
Nope. Exactly. Just kept trucking.
Yeah. I tell you, I saw that not long ago. A guy was racing down the highway with a semi. I couldn't catch him, and one tire was flopping around, and the other one was already starting to smoke.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he wasn't far away. It was a good thing it was still winter, or
Yeah.
it was winter already. But I had a guy once with a cattle truck from Ontario. He had just left Deacon's Corner, which is a place nearby. For the listeners that don't know, it's a truck stop nearby, right on the east side of Winnipeg. And he had a full load of cattle on, 3-axle trailer, and he was just bucking it. And there's a tire gone flat, and he was one of those guys that doesn't know how to use the air in his air seat. So I drove up beside him in my pickup truck, and I probably ran for beside him for about 5 miles before I could finally get his attention. And pointing over to the side and pulled around in front of him is, "Why'd you stop me?" Well, you got a tire going down. You want to lose your load of cattle too? Once it catches fire, you're gonna lose everything. And I thought, since I'm local, I thought he would say, if anybody can help me out, I want to keep these cattle moving. He didn't. I ended up calling his safety people, and it's like, what's up with this guy? Like,
Wow.
I mean, I don't really have any pull, but I do know the phone numbers to call.
Yep.
You don't
Exactly.
have to. You don't have to try and. I mean, I do that if I have been stranded somewhere. I'll ask a local or take any advice somebody will give. Like, hey, what can you tell me?
Yep.
Because the tire shop you call may not be the best one to go to if you don't know any better, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So some crazy times out there. But what's the most fun thing about your job?
Meeting people.
Meeting people.
Yep.
I know you always have a smile for me, but I don't know if it's a grimace. I
No.
don't know. Maybe you're just like, I don't know.
No. No. I quite enjoy my regular guys, and I enjoy meeting all the new truckers that I go and get rolling on the side of the road, or
Yeah.
anybody that comes in really.
How do you find, just in general, um, the drivers are towards you and towards the other technicians at work there? Do you get much flack from any of them, or is it usually a pretty good?
No, I just kind of put them in their place just by showing them what's going on, that I can actually do this job, and they don't say anything
Yeah,
to me directly. They might say something to somebody else, but I haven't heard anything bad.
I haven't heard anything bad. I can tell you that. Um, and yeah, I don't know if they'd tell me anyway, but I'd never hear anything bad. And I know Jared and Jeremy treat you well and
Oh yeah.
have fun together, and
Yep.
you know, that's always good. But like in general, how do you find truck drivers to deal with?
There's the odd one that gets in your way, stands in your way when you're trying to work, but usually drop a bar or your hammer close to their feet or start dancing around them, then they start moving out of the way.
Yeah. Oh, that bar slipped. Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. What advice would you have for truck drivers, dealing with any, what advice would you give to a rookie that would come by and say, hey, I want to learn something about tires? What would you tell me?
The more questions you ask, the more answers you're going to get, and the better off you're going to be. If you're questioning the look of a tire that it's on your rig, feel free to stop in. Somebody will give you a proper answer, give you a look over, and if you come pick on me at work, I'll give you a straight up answer. Same with the Bradleys, Jeremy and Jared.
Yeah.
We'll all pull together and help you out.
I've really, I've really appreciated that at your particular store. I had a few years where I wasn't dealing too much with Cal Tire myself, but then I always send my kids there. And I used to, when I had my own company, then the JNS shop was in your building there before it was as big as it is now, and so he did all my work and the mechanical work, and Jared and Jeremy did all the tire work, and I always appreciated that they shoot, I've known them since the early 2000s. I've never ever once been steered wrong by their advice,
Nope.
which is that's a pretty big thing
Yep.
in my books. Like a lot of times you can have things and you're like, wasn't quite as good as what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But all the tires that I've ever bought from Cal Tire, myself personally, with my own business, with my kids, it's always been fantastic. So it's pretty interesting that you also have that same mindset that you'll give the straight up goods on what's going on, right?
Yep.
And that's so important. Um, and I've seen your boss Gary out in the town once in a while, and I've gone to him and said, "Hey, thank you so much for the honesty you guys always give us." And it's been good. I love dealing with your store there, Cal Tire in Steinbach. It's really good.
Yep.
So, how would you? Let's say somebody comes up to you, a younger kid, and says, "Hey, I want to get into what you're doing." What do you tell them?
Never give up.
Never give up.
It gets hard and you're going to hurt, but never give up.
That's good advice for anything, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
So you've probably been at Cal Tire for the whole time since you moved from Alberta? 6
No,
years?
I actually started at Ben R when I first moved. I was
Oh,
here for
okay.
a year and a half and been at Cal for 3.5 or 4 years now.
Okay. Cool. So were you doing tires at Benar as well?
Yep.
Yeah. But a lot of vehicles there too. Yeah. So what's the least favorite part of your job?
I'd have to say traffic.
When you're out on a road call?
When I'm on a road call and nobody slows down or moves over.
Oof.
I know everybody's in a hurry, but I have a family to come back to.
Yep. That that's probably in trucking, that's probably my biggest fear is if I have to stop on the highway or stop beside the highway.
Yep.
I've seen that far too many times. Far too many times where people get careless and take out a vehicle on the shoulder or rear end somebody.
Yep.
So it's crazy. How do we, maybe you have some good ideas on this. How do we get people to smarten up and slow down?
I have no idea. I keep flinging my lube brush at windows, but I think I keep missing. So when I figure something out, I'll let you know.
Do you think it'd be allowed if we threw out some spike strips once in a while?
It'd create business for me, which would be good.
Yeah, you could have you and a couple of the other guys could be set up further down the road, right? And somebody throw out a, of course, to any listener, we are kidding around here. We don't advocate hurting people, but hurting a tire is not a bad idea if you can get some business out of it and get the people to slow down,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Have somebody waiting down there. Oh, you need a tire? I got. Oh, funny. I have that exact size.
Yep.
Oh, it's that literally that is my biggest fear is that sitting beside the highway. I a couple of years ago I was sitting beside the highway with an oversize. My truck just shut off.
Oh
Like
no.
I love the new trucks, right? Just that was it. And I could not get road service out for a long time. I couldn't get anybody to give me a hand. And the office I was dealing with at the time couldn't seem to care less that I was sitting beside the road with an oversize. Then I had a cop stop by and he drove over my triangles.
No way.
I was like, you just wrecked my triangles. Of course, I didn't say that to him because I didn't want to go to jail. It was in the US.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy that he drove over my triangles and it was getting dark and I wasn't supposed to be on the highway after dark, but I would have been fine, except it literally took hours to get some help. So, and people are whizzing by
Yep.
and sharp edges of the wide load sticking out with lights and flashers and everything. I mean,
Yep.
people won't slow down for cops. Why would they slow down for an oversize?
Exactly.
You know. But what are some other? There's something unique, and I saw you flinch a bit the other day. Um, the zipper noise that a tire makes
Oh
when
yes.
you're pumping it up. It my tire started to make a little bit of a zipper noise, and I saw you look at it. You want to tell people what that's all about?
Um. Yeah. Actually, the noise that I was hearing that kind of made me flinch was the tire just seating onto the rim, and
Okay.
it almost sounds the same
Okay.
if you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Um. But a zipper is never a good sound. It sounds like popcorn, like pop, 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 and that's all your belt's breaking, and it's bad, bad news bears right there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not. I have yet to have a tire blow up. Knock on wood.
That's good.
So I'm hoping I can keep my string going.
That'd be
Um,
good
yep.
because those things can go high and
Oh,
far.
oh yeah.
There's I know a couple of people that have had spent some quality time with doctors and nurses afterwards.
Yep.
Have you seen some like for the truck tires and you have cages you can put your tires in, right?
Yes.
For when you're filling them up.
Yes.
And you see those cages are they bend the bars out pretty far when that tire blows up.
They can. Yep.
Yeah. And it's not always possible to have a cage tire in the cage, I guess. You know. Sometimes
Yep.
it's not possible, but I saw I I saw you look at the tire the other day, and I can't tell the difference between the zipper just seating on the bead, but I know the sound a little bit when it makes that sound. I'm also like, uh oh,
Yep.
stand back or watch, see what's happening.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. So what's the biggest cause of tire failure in vehicle? Well, tire failure. Period.
Uh, lack of air.
Lack of air.
Yep.
Yeah. And want to explain the mechanics of that?
What
Why is
happens?
it lack of air?
What happens is your belts tend to break down just due to weight. So that puts a lot of pressure on places that there shouldn't be a lot of pressure, providing that there's enough pressure in your tire. So your belts break, and then when you go to add air, it doesn't matter if it's 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds. If you start hearing popcorn, and sometimes there isn't even a noise, then you get explosions and people getting hurt. Or
Yeah. So when the tire's low on air, then there's a lot more flex.
Yep.
So I guess that's why the belts break down. They're getting a lot more flex, and it's like
Yep.
taking a wire coat hanger and working it back and forth really fast, and it gets hot.
Yep.
And you can break it apart, right? So
Exactly.
that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've had I've had tires blow up on the back end of a Super B, like 75 feet behind me,
Yep.
and I've felt them go.
Yep.
They make quite a bang.
Even at 50 pounds in a cage, you can see the wall bow out when a tire
Wow.
blows up. We found that out last week.
Oh, you did.
Yep.
Bet you
At
that
the
got your
tire.
attention.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what I told you I would ask you this: favorite road trip or favorite trip you've had somewhere sometime, or most epic trip, whatever the parameters you want to put on. Um, what is something that's come to mind?
Nah, pretty much any of my call outs are exciting in one way, shape, or form. Like I said, I like meeting new people, so you never get to see the same face twice. Or sometimes you see wolves on the side of the number one out by Prada there, just east of Steinbach. That was a cool drive out
Yeah.
to
What's the furthest you've had to go for a service call?
West Hawkscale, which is on the border of Manitoba and Ontario.
In a tire truck, so that's just over an hour, I think, right? From Steinbach.
Yeah, I think it's an hour and 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
Good conditions. No
yeah,
construction.
yeah, yeah. So favorite vacation trip or anything like that? The mountains, mountain trip, canoeing,
Anywhere.
horseback riding. You go riding in the mountains with your horses?
No, haven't done that yet.
No.
Um, we've gone to Sandylands for trail rides. That's always exciting because you don't
Yeah.
stay on the trails. You take deer trails and get lost and turn around and
I
still
hear
mine.
some. I hear some giggling in the background, so there must have been some corners that weren't made at the right time, and
No,
trying to find your way back.
it's all on purpose. Our lead,
Yeah,
our leader knows exactly where he's going and what direction his home is. So
yeah, yeah. My mom always got lost, but she said she was never lost. She just took longer to get home.
exactly.
She always got us where we're going as kids because I'm here.
Yep.
So she's legendary that way herself. So, any final thoughts, Jodi? What do you what can you say to everybody that's listening?
For passenger vehicles or even some truck drivers, if you guys could move over when you see flashing lights. I know it can be a pain in the ass, but like I said earlier, we all just want to go home. Otherwise, keep the wheels rolling. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Put in a little plug for your shop there.
Everybody at the shop is great. If you get bored or need to joke around with somebody, swing by and we'll put on a show for you.
That's Cal Tire in Steinbach, the best, one of the best places I've ever been to for tires. Well, actually, for me, it's been the best place ever. So stop in there, see Jodi, Jeremy, Jared, all the guys there, two bosses, Gary. I know the Garys, and yeah, it's a good place to go. So thank you very much, Jodi, for sitting down with me and having a little interview and showing your side of things. And hope that I don't see it too much, and truck keeps rolling. But I do. We do tend to find nails and all kinds of stuff on farmyards. So
Yep.
and edges and sharp rocks, and
Yep.
it's been a lot of fun that way. So thank you very much for coming on. Now we're going to remind everybody to rate and review the podcast, share it around with your friends, and there'll be show notes. You can look if you want to contact me or send any personal questions to me at crazycanucktrucking@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, it'll also be in the show notes to show you how to do that. So have a good day, everybody.